7 and 1240 AM. WHBU. Anderson, Madison County.
U.S.-Iran tensions. Failure to act. I'm Christopher Cruz. The U.S. and Iran are trying to back away from a potential military conflict over Iran's nuclear program. Correspondent Frederick Pleitgen is in Tehran this morning.
They don't want this conflict to escalate. Of course, this week, the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, came out and he unequivocally said there is not going to be a war with the United States now.
American diplomats are warning that the increased tensions between the U.S. and Iran could result in commercial airliners flying over the Persian Gulf being, quote, misidentified. The warning from U.S. embassies in the area was relayed by the Federal Aviation Administration. Business groups are praising the decision yesterday by the U.S., Mexico, and Canada to drop their tariffs on steel and aluminum. President Trump had imposed the tariffs in the name of national security, but American companies suffered when Mexico and Canada retaliated. Correspondent Abby Phillip at the White House.
One of the big sticking points for Canada and Mexico, but particularly for Canada, has been these steel and aluminum tariffs that had begun a sort of retaliatory cycle here between neighboring countries that had long been trading partners.
At least 7 people have been shot at a house party early this morning in Muncie, Indiana, near Ball State University's campus. At least 3 of them have suffered life-threatening injuries. A top official at Ohio State University says it's not clear from a report released yesterday whether anyone at the university ever reported the actions of a former doctor now accused of sexually abusing more than 170 male students. Correspondent Polo Sandoval is covering.
This report was commissioned by OSU. It specifically concluded that school personnel who knew about complaints that Dr. Richard Strauss had been sexually abusing student athletes as early as 1979 and then failed to investigate or act.
The doctor killed himself in 2005. I'm Christopher Cruz.
Today's weather, mostly sunny day today with a high of 86. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low of 67. Now, Sunday, there's a slight chance for rain with a high of 77. And Sunday night, that chance of rain sticks around with a low of 53. I'm Nick Isbell, and that's your weather.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities, or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Get a $100 travel reward credit with a full synthetic oil change through October 31st, 2019. Terms apply. Visit pennzoil.com/travel on.
Having fun together adds up, and so do the savings at Kohl's with an extra 15% off. Save on family fun matching graphic tees, just $7.64 and $8.49. Hit the beach with women's flip-flops, and new beach towels, each just $11.04. Plus, take 25% off select Adidas and Converse. Plus, get Kohl's Cash Friday through Sunday at Kohl's. Select styles, 15% offer valid May 13th through 19th with promo code SAVENOW. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why aren't more things in life customizable? Like, why do I have to pay a full gym membership when I don't even use all the equipment? Like the rowing machine. I don't know about you, but I'm not doing a ton of manual lake travel these days.
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
This is your breakfast wake-up call from Panera Bread. Don't start your day with a greasy processed breakfast. At Panera, breakfast to go no longer means to settle. Wake up with their new maple glazed bacon, scrambled egg and cheese breakfast wrap. And pair it with their new Madagascar vanilla cold brew. All made 100% clean and ready to go with rapid pickup at the push of a button. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and that means compromising isn't an option. Panera, food as it should be.
4! Straight down the middle. It went straight down the middle.
It's time for the Golf Show, presented by Cohoed and O'Neill Golf Management, the French Lick Resort, and the PGA Tour Superstore. The Golf Show takes a weekly look at golf in East Central Indiana and beyond. And now, here's your host, Ryan Hammons.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of The Golf Show. I'm Brian Hammons alongside producer Nick Isbell. And the first thing I'd like to do is thank Steve Lindell for filling in for me last week while I was at the AT&T Byron Nelson. He did a great job, and it's always good to leave the show in capable hands, and his hands are certainly capable. And I think he had a good time as well, so that's always good. Obviously, all eyes this week are on the PGA Championship being played at Bethpage Black, and that's what we're going to talk about most of the day today. We'll be joined by John Mahaffey, the 1978 PGA champion. Billy Kratzert, who's on the broadcast at Bethpage this week, will join us and talk about what's going on down there. And then later on, we're going to get some tips on if you're playing a course like Bethpage Black, you got to drive it straight. And we're going to get some tips from Michael Janes of the PGA Tour Superstore on how we can improve our driving accuracy. But first, let's take a look at the leaderboard of what's happening at the PGA Championship. If you're not aware, Brooks Koepka is at it again. He's only won 3 of the last 7 majors and has been in contention in others. You'll remember he was just a missed short putt. I say short, probably 12-footer, 15-footer at Augusta National out the 18th hole, the 72nd hole from tying Tiger Woods. And who knows, he might have won that playoff. So the guy's phenomenal. Rounds of 63, 65. He's at 12 under par with a 7-shot lead heading into the weekend at the PGA Championship, trying to win that tournament in back-to-back years. And the scary part for his competitors is he didn't hit the ball well on Friday.
This probably sounds bad, but today was a battle. I didn't strike it that good. I was leaking a few to the right, but I don't think the way I hung in there today and battled it, I think that was probably more impressive than yesterday. Not having your A game, but still being able to shoot a great score. I was very, very pleased with the way I played today.
As well he should. In a tie for second place is Jordan Spieth, and that, not surprising yet, it is surprising. If you look at his statistics this year, he's been awful. Last week when we were doing the Byron Nelson, he was ranked 175th on tour in driving accuracy, which does not add up to a good week here at Bethpage. But he worked on that last week. His greens and regulation stat is not much better than that, but he's been working hard and is in position in a tie for second place heading into the weekend to win his 4th major, and that would complete the career Grand Slam if Jordan Spieth can pull it off this weekend. But not surprising, he's not quite thinking about that just yet.
I haven't been in contention on a Sunday since the Open last year. And if I'm able to, put some good work in tomorrow, then I will have it. I'll be in contention on Sunday. And at that point, it'll be just more of trying to win a golf tournament. It won't matter to me what tournament it is. I'll be pleased to be in contention, knowing that the work that I put in from being pretty far off has really come back nicely on a very difficult golf course.
Jordan has been very interesting this year. He's been in good shape heading to the weekend in several tournaments, but has just played poorly, especially on Saturday. His scoring average on Saturday has been abysmal. So we'll see what he can do today. Hopefully Jordan is finding his form and is getting back to where he was a couple of years ago, because he is so much fun to watch. When you started the week, you looked at players, okay, who are going to be the favorites at Bethpage Black? It's long, it's difficult. You got to drive it long and straight. The Bombers are going to have an advantage. Well, obviously one of the names that comes up immediately is Dustin Johnson, a guy that maybe the best driver of the golf ball on the planet right now. He's long, he's straight. Shot just a 1 under par 69 in round 1, which is a good round at Bethpage Black, but when Brooks Koepka shoots 63, it pales in comparison. Dustin came back with a 67 yesterday, which has him climbing the leaderboard.
Yeah, I felt like I did a really good job today. I hit the ball really well, drove it good, hit a lot of really good iron shots, gave myself a lot of looks at birdie. Made some nice putts, but I missed quite a few short ones. Kind of the same as yesterday, but the greens they're really tricky to read. They're real flat, and so a lot of subtle little breaks. And I felt like I rolled it well today, though. So I'm pleased with the score again, and pleased with how I played.
Dan, that's going to be the key for Dustin Johnson. If he's putting well, he'll be in contention, and it'll be a lot of fun. Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson are great friends. It'd be a lot of fun if those two could battle it out over the weekend. But right now, that pretty much depends on what Brooks Koepka does over the next couple of days. He certainly has both hands on the wheel right now and is in control. Tiger Woods only missed the cut, rounds of 72 and 73. Little surprising, although he didn't play a competitive round of golf from the Sunday of the Masters when he won the Masters to the PGA Championship. Didn't play a PGA Tour event. Now, he's done that before. In 2008, he didn't play at all, and he was battling injuries then from the Masters to the U.S. Open at Torrey Pines, and he won that U.S. Open at Torrey Pines. So he's done that before, and everybody I talked to player-wise, and they said it's not a big deal for Tiger not to play, but obviously it was. 72-73, missed the cut at 5 over par, which is disappointing. But he played with Brooks Koepka the first 2 rounds of this tournament, and he saw up close and personal what Brooks has been up to.
Yeah, what Brooksy did was, he's driving at 330 yards in the middle of the fairway. He's got 9 irons when most of us are hitting 5 irons, 4 irons, and he's putting well. And so, that adds up to a pretty substantial lead, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, there's no reason why he can't build on this lead. The golf course is soft enough where, the power helps. And so when he did miss the fairway, he missed it far enough down there where he was still able to hit wedges and 9 irons on the green. And, on top of that, he missed on the correct sides. And so he had good angles.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka has been lights out for the first couple of days. Other big names to miss the cut along with Tiger, Jon Rahm, another one of those players that was considered a favorite coming in, long and straight. Sergio Garcia missed the cut. Bubba Watson, a long player. Now, he sprays it a little more off the tee than some of those other names I mentioned, so him missing the cut is not as big a surprise. But also want to congratulate Craig Bowden, who was a guest on the show last week when Steve Lindell was here. He's from Bloomington, Indiana, went to the University of Indianapolis, qualified for the PGA Championship for the second consecutive year through the Club Professional National Championship. He missed the cut, rounds of 78 and 75, but want to congratulate Craig for qualifying for the second consecutive year. Craig's 50 years old, so he had a couple of things going against him. One, he's not a full-time tour player anymore. It's difficult to step into that arena when you don't play week in and week out on tour. And 2, he's 50 years old. He's a champion. I mean, he's a senior tour player, Champions Tour player, age-wise, and he's going to try to go back to Q School and get on that tour. So congratulations to Craig Bowden for qualifying for the PGA Championship for the second consecutive year. When we come back on the Golf Show, we'll be joined by John Mahaffey, a man who knows all about winning a major championship. You're listening to the Golf Show on the new WHBU and Muncie Sports Radio.
It's time to get ready at the new PGA Tour Superstore. Get ready for custom-fit clubs. Get ready for expert advice and lessons from our certified teaching pros. Get ready for the largest selection of clubs, apparel, shoes, and more. Get ready, because the PGA Tour Superstore in Indianapolis is now open. Located at Clearwater Crossing.
Cohout and O'Neill Golf Management is Central Indiana's premier golf management company, providing management and consulting services to some of the top courses in the state. But that's not all. The Cohout and O'Neill Caddy program has sent 10 high school caddies to college on full rides to IU and Purdue through the Chick Evans Caddy Scholarship, the most of any operation in the state in the last 5 years. For more information on the Caddy program, visit CohoutandO'Neill.com.
Add style and comfort to your home with a new Turn of the Century or Patriot Lighting ceiling fan and save with 11% off everything at Menards. Turn of the Century and Patriot Lighting ceiling fans save energy and come in a wide variety of styles and finishes. Save now with 11% off. All Turn of the Century and Patriot Lighting ceiling fans at Menards. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Liberty Mutual Insurance presents
and Doug.
If I don't find the right car insurance for me, I might just give up.
Did someone just say, if I don't find the right car insurance for me, I might just give up? Ma'am, what if my partner, this wild emu, and I told you that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need?
I'd say sign me up for Liberty Mutual. And also, your emu is eating my tire.
Limu! No. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer. State laws apply.
Hi, I'm Brian Hammons. If you're looking for a private, affordable, fun golf course, check out the Anderson Country Club. It's one of the oldest courses in Indiana, and pace of play is never a problem. It's a charming, old-school club with modern amenities, like brand new golf carts and a new bar and casual dining area to go along with the formal dining room. It's a great place to create memories with family and friends. To learn more, go to andersoncountryclub.net and click on the membership tab.
The following is an emergency announcement from Skechers. You're paying too much for shoes. $175 for Nike or Adidas? That's a national disaster. You don't have to pay a lot for world-class performance and comfort. Edward Cheserek just had the 5K world record wearing Skechers. I could go on, but you need to hear about comfort. They've got Skechers exclusive air-cooled memory foam footbeds across their lineup. You'll feel like you're walking on clouds for less. Find Skechers at a Skechers store near you or wherever stylish shoes are sold.
It's a Pete Dye masterpiece, the Pete Dye course at French Lick Resort. Pete says its location on one of the highest points in Indiana makes it special.
The long views, you can see maybe 20 and 30 miles from many of the fairways and many of the tees and greens, and you can see it in 360 degrees.
Donald Ross's Hill Course put French Lick on the golf map more than 100 years ago. It's where Walter Hagen won the 1924 PGA Championship, and the place where today's Symetra Tour ladies battle each year.
It's the ambience around it that makes the golf course.
Combine our many resort amenities with legendary golf, and you have a getaway like no other. French Lick Resort is the home of the Senior LPGA Championship, won in 2018 by World Golf Hall of Famer Laura Davies. Play the courses champions play. Plan your trip now, online at FrenchLick.com.
I need somebody help, not just anybody help. You know I need someone help.
And we're back on the Golf Show, brought to you by Cohout and O'Neill Golf Management, the French Lick Resort, and the PGA Tour Superstore. When I need help, I call on my friend John Mahaffey, who joins us now via the telephone, the 1978 PGA champion, 10 PGA Tour wins to his credit. John Boy, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. It's so great to hear a familiar voice. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Having a good time watching this PGA championship this week. Now, let me ask you this, John. Do you like the PGA moving to May?
I think it's all right. I think they have. You've got some thunderstorms in certain areas and parts of the country that may be more of a factor than it would be later on in the year in August. But I think it's all right.
Now, when you won the PGA in '78. How did that change your life?
Well, it changed it dramatically. I had only won one tournament prior to that in 1973, and I was coming off a terrible year in '77. I had an injury that I was coming back from and had really only made about $10,000 coming into that tournament. So I didn't have really high expectations, especially on a golf course as difficult as Oakmont. And I didn't open up with a very good round. I shot 75 in the morning, and I remember not even going in the clubhouse, going straight to the practice tee. Practiced until dark, a little after dark actually, and went back to where I was staying and thought, I think I may have found something. I mean, that's kiss of death normally. I think I found it in golf. It comes back to bite you, but it didn't. I played probably the next 3 days the best golf I've ever played in my life.
Now, Oakmont, obviously a very, very difficult golf course. Can you make any comparisons to Oakmont and Bethpage where they're playing this week? Not so much the holes and all that, but in terms of the difficulty?
I think so. The greens are lightning fast. I think Oakmont probably has the fastest greens of anywhere I've played in the world. And it's also had a great premium on driving the golf ball in the fairway. And I think with a lot of the rough they have at Bethpage right now, they're having problems about driving. If they don't drive the ball in the fairway, they're going to make some big numbers from time to time. The church pew bunkers they had at Oakmont you just kind of a lot of times had to come out sideways. So really put a premium on hitting the ball in the fairway, giving you a chance to keep it underneath the hole, which you really needed to do at Oakmont.
All right, take us inside the mind of a player. What is different about a major for players? I mean, obviously it's a prestigious event, one of the most prestigious events in the world, but from a player standpoint, just what is different about it?
Well, I think that's how a player measures himself in a lot of ways over a career. It's wonderful to win golf tournaments. That's what you go out there for. But majors are sort of how you're judged in a way, and not only by yourself but also by your peers. And it's something that you dreamed of your whole life. I remember back in Kerrville, Texas, playing a little 9-hole golf course on the putting green there, hitting putts saying this is for the U.S. Open, the Masters, the PGA, or the Open Championship. And you to get to live that dream, it's such a special thing. And even more so, I think, in my case, having lost a U.S. Open in 1975 and 76, coming so close and not being able to get one, and to finally come through and win at Oakmont was very special. And to get back to the question you asked earlier, how did it change my life? Well, it turned it all the way around. It made it. It was a disaster at that before that, and I played on 2 World Cup teams, a Ryder Cup team, so it made a huge difference for me.
How do you deal as a player with the pressure of a major championship? Because obviously it's a different pressure than you would than you would face week to week.
Well, I think a lot of it has to come with your attitude. I like what Koepka has said. If I'm quoting him incorrectly, I apologize. But I kind of felt the same way. If you could hang around until the last 9 holes of the golf tournament, he's taken charge so far this year through 36 holes. But if you could hang around until that last 9 holes with a chance to win, stick to your game plan, don't panic, you've got a great chance to win, because a lot of guys get to thinking they get ahead of themselves. And you must stay in the moment. Sometimes if you make a mistake, you can't make higher than bogey. If bogey, you can make a birdie and get it back. If you make higher than that, it's just hard, and then you start pressing, and things don't work out so well. So you can't give that acceptance speech on the 70th hole. It doesn't work. You have to play all 72.
Is winning a major more physical, or is it more mental?
I think it's more mental. I think it's what we've all strived for our whole lives, what we've dreamed about. And one thing about winning a major championship is that you'll never be forgotten in the game of golf. And I think that's one of the most important things for all of us. That's and to be recognized by your peers as doing something special.
So the biggest strength you can have playing a major championship is what? Between the years?
Absolutely between the years, and how you approach it. I think Koepka again. I think he's got got it all right, because he's kind of like Jack Nicklaus in the fact that there's half the field or more that are defeated when they get there because the golf course is too hard, the greens are too hard, the fairways are too narrow, I can't get it out of the rough, I'm not playing that well, all that kind of stuff. All the negatives come in. These guys, they're all positive coming in there. So they got those guys beat, and by the time that you start eliminating different factors, you only got about 30 guys to beat. And if you're playing well, that's not as tough a task as beating if all of them had a positive attitude.
Yeah, that's what Brooks said earlier this week, and he did. He sounded an awful lot like Jack. He said, look, I'm going to beat 80 players anyway, and 35 others can't handle the pressure. I've only got to beat 30 or 35 players. So, and he's doing that.
Absolutely he is, and I like his approach to it. Obviously, he's a very strong player, but I think he's got marvelous touch, good putter, great putter in situations like this. And I look at Retief Goosen, who won a couple of U.S. Opens, and at Shinnecock, the last one he won, he made 30 and 40 footers. Those are the kinds of things that you have to do. Not that you're trying to make them, of course, but the odds aren't very good. When you win those golf tournaments, you make the pars when you need to, and that's what Brooks seems to be able to do.
You know, the obvious answer to this next question is Jack Nicklaus, but who are some of the other great players that you thought were great major championship players?
Oh, Tiger, without a doubt. There's Gary Player, Trevino, Gosh, there's a ton of them. Even all the way back to Jimmy DeMeritt, who won 3 Masters. There's just certain guys that are able to handle what's put in front of them, and they've got a great attitude and a great approach to the game of golf, and very talented players.
So, what are your thoughts so far this week? Are you surprised at what Brooks Koepka has done so far?
No, not at all. He seems to rise to the occasion. I think he's got obviously an excellent chance. If he stays with his game plan, he probably will. And just kind of see what happens. And again, just be in the hunt in that last 9 holes. That's the important thing.
Now, we've talked about this before, John Boyd, but it can be difficult to play with a big lead. So if you're in Brooks's shoes today, what's your game plan?
Working with Lanny Wadkins for such a long time, I liked his attitude about a lot of this kind of stuff. He always felt like he had a plan. Obviously, he'd like to extend his lead. I mean, he's the kind of guy that he wants to take you down with as many shots as he can. Wants to walk in and match play 10 and 8, that kind of stuff. But I think he'd go out with a plan like he's playing so well. I guess at Riviera a couple of times he won there, and he set the tournament record at Riviera. And he didn't want any 5s on his card. And he said the hardest he was grinding in his life was when he came to the 18th hole, and he had a 4-footer for 4, and he didn't want to make a 5. But he had the tournament won by a gazillion. So that's a pretty strong mindset, and I think you have to do something like that. That way you keep your mind off of extraneous things can get in and cause some negativity.
So do you think Brooks wins this? You're not climbing real far out on a limb if you say yes.
I'm not going real far off?
No.
Well, he's got 3 majors, right? So, yeah, I do. I think he's playing great golf. People said that, it was hard it's always hard for a player to come back after a really terrific round, like his 63 on Thursday, and follow it up with another great round. Well, he did. So, I mean, he's kind of maybe the exception to the rule in a lot of ways, and that's what wins major championships.
Well, John Boy, I'm really looking forward to seeing you again in June when you come back here like you do every year for the St. Vincent Classic for Kids. I'm really looking forward to seeing you again, and I know we'll have a good time while you're here.
We always do, and I love coming there. Got some great folks there in Indiana.
Well, John, I appreciate you spending some time with us. Enjoy the weekend watching the PGA Championship, and give my best to Elizabeth.
I certainly will, and thank you for having me on. Appreciate it, Brian.
The great John Mahaffey, good friend, great player, and a good broadcaster as well. And, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet in this world. We're going to take a break, come back with Billy Kratzert, who will check in from Bethpage Black. You are listening to The Golf Show on the new WHBU and Muncie Sports Radio.
Coho and O'Neill Golf Management is a true friend of golf. They not only provide management and consulting services to some of the top courses in the state, Coho and O'Neill courses host some of the most prestigious golf events in Indiana as well, including numerous Indiana Opens, state amateurs, and the boys and girls high school state finals. If you want to take your course to the next level, go with the team at Coho and O'Neill. For more information, visit cohoando'neill.com.
Hi, I'm Brian Hammons. Golf can be frustrating for both beginners and accomplished players. If you want to eliminate that frustration and really enjoy the game, take lessons, and not from just anybody. Go to the Anderson Country Club. You don't need to be a member to take lessons. Director of Golf Brian Garrett and head PGA professional Zach Dreyer will help you achieve your goals in golf, whether you're just beginning or trying to make the tour. To set up a lesson, go to AndersonCountryClub.net.
At Indeed, we believe a resume is a great way to see an overview of a candidate. But you're not hiring a resume, you're hiring a person. That's why Indeed offers tools that help bridge the gap between a candidate and the resume. Like skill tests, which let you actually see a candidate's abilities in action to make sure they're a good fit for the job. See beyond the resume with Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/promo. Terms and conditions apply.
It's time to get ready at the new PGA Tour Superstore. Get ready for custom-fit clubs. Get ready for expert advice and lessons from our certified teaching pros. Get ready for the largest selection of clubs, apparel, shoes, and more. Get ready because the PGA Tour Superstore in Indianapolis is now open. Located at Clearwater Crossing.
Combining home and auto with State Farm gets you great coverage for less. Combining 90s R&B with State Farm radio ads gets you this jam covered for free.
Home and auto, let's do it. Combine it, my policy, my wallet is waiting. Come on, jump on it. Home and auto.
For more coverage, visit statefarm.com.
Combine it.
Play legendary golf at French Lick Resort, the only place in the country where you can play courses by two Hall of Fame designers on the same property. Our Pete Dye and Donald Ross courses offer two very different challenges. Experience them both and save with our Hall of Fame package. Our two historic hotels are unique as well. Cap it off with a fun visit to the French Lick Casino. Check us out online at FrenchLick.com. Bring a group and save even more. Play legendary golf this season at French Lick Resort.
Napa know-how. It's Love Your Car Month at Napa. And to show your car the love, get a Napa bucket for $2.99 and save 20% on almost everything you can fit inside, like car wash, car wax, and tire shine. So save some cash and look good doing it by getting 20% off with the Napa bucket. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores, exclusions apply. Minimum 3 items may not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 4/30/19.
I'm not sure what else to do. My company is thriving. I've got more business than I can handle. But I need workers, and no one has the skills I need. Why does it feel like I'm always having to settle?
You don't have to. Indiana's Next Level Jobs program will help you offset the cost of training the workers you need. Learn more at nextleveljobs.org.
This message is sponsored by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education, the Indiana Department of Workforce Development, and aired in cooperation with this station.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. I hit it hard.
And we're back on the Golf Show, brought to you by Cohout and O'Neill Golf Management, the French Lick Resort, and the PGA Tour Superstore. That's John Daly bringing us back from break. John missed the cut this week, even though he was given the opportunity to ride in a cart at the PGA Championship. Let's check in with Bill Kratzert, a member of the Indiana Golf Hall of Fame from Fort Wayne, Indiana, 4-time winner on the PGA Tour, and one of the best broadcasters in the business, and he's working the PGA Championship this week. Billy, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Brian. How are you?
I'm doing well, enjoying watching Brooks Koepka run away and hide this week. He's been rather impressive, hasn't he?
Oh, following him yesterday, along with Tiger, and just the ease at which he was able to produce that score. And he made 2 bogeys yesterday, and those were the first 2 bogeys that he's made, but each time bounced back either the next hole or one after that and made birdie. And he said that he wanted to take care of the par 5s yesterday. Well, he certainly did. He was the only one to hit it on the 13th hole, the par 5, in 2 yesterday, and 2 putted for birdie, and then the 2-putt birdie on number 4. So he just made it look so easy, Brian.
You know, the thing that makes it even more impressive to me, Billy, is that he played the first 2 days with Tiger. Well, that's another different dynamic that comes into play when you're dealing with Tiger. Now you've got the New York crowds, but he seems to thrive playing in that atmosphere.
Well, it's interesting because Rory McIlroy, when Tiger first came back, made the statement that it was probably maybe a shot and a half per round distraction playing with Tiger's crowd. And you're 100% right. It did not even come close to facing Koepka. I mean, he just kept that stern, straight face, and he would smile occasionally. He and Tiger were having a good time. You know, I didn't know there were this many Brooks Koepka fans up here in New York because they were saying, "Hey, Brooks, keep going," you know. And then Koepka and then Francesco Molinari, he was trying to stay pretty stoic as well, but obviously he has a lot of friends up here because his name went from Francesco to Frankie, and so all his friends were out there. And then Tiger, of course, you know, they're calling him Tiger and Eldrick, and Big Cat and all that. It was an energetic atmosphere, I must say.
Do you get the same feeling when you're watching Brooks Koepka play? Do you get the same feeling that you did watching Tiger in his prime, the jaw-dropping talent that Tiger put on display? Obviously Tiger was more of a swashbuckler, and Brooks is very even-keeled and very steady. Do you get the same feeling when you're watching Brooks?
I feel as though he's the one guy now that can dominate, and we seem to continue to look for that person, Brian. And we thought it was going to be Roy when he won the 4 majors so quickly, but it was interesting when Brooks made that comment about winning, double-digit majors, and I thought, wow, that's pretty bold. But with what I've seen in 2 days and upcoming, the way that he has played this year, and then you look forward to the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach and certainly the Open Championship in Ireland. I mean, this guy can go on a run that is a Tiger run, and it's only because of his sharpness with detail. He's going to continue to work out. He's going to continue to try to improve his golf swing. He and Claude Harmon III went straight to the range. He was not happy with the way that he hit the ball yesterday. Went straight to the range. There is nothing left undone, and that is basically what Tiger did throughout his career.
We just had John Mahaffey on a few minutes ago, and he feels that majors are won between the ears, and that's another strong suit for Brooks Koepka, isn't it?
Certainly is. He doesn't get flustered. He'll hit a bad shot, and he'll just kind of look over at Ricky Elliott and, just kind of shrug his shoulders and nod his head. Whereas a lot of guys would walk down the fairway to the next shot just wondering what absolutely went wrong with the golf swing on that particular shot. He seems to have a very short memory about shots that are not working out correctly. And the recoverability, when he does miss a shot and he does put it in a tough situation, he either gets the ball up and down or he makes the right decision. Like he left it short at number 10 yesterday, the par 4. When he left it short, he didn't take the risk of trying to get it close. Just accept the fact that, hey, I'm going to make a bogey sooner or later. I can't go 72 holes without a bogey like Scott Piercy did in Dallas. So toss it behind the hole. If I can make a 12-footer, great. If I can't make a 12-footer, I move on, and that's what he did.
Well, Billy, if we've got a guy that can be a generational talent like Brooks Koepka, then why does he continue to fly under the radar? I mean, you ask the casual golf fan, okay, name 5 great players, and they'll probably list certainly Tiger, they'll list Phil, they'll list Ricky Fowler, and they'll list Jordan Spieth. A lot of times they'll leave off Brooks Koepka. Why does he continue to fly under the radar?
That is a great question. Does he play into the media's hands to where he'll go and do the night shows and all of the morning shows and all that? He's just not that kind of guy. He's going to stick to his routine. And I think that's what makes him exceptional, is the fact that he's not going to buy into all of the ancillary stuff that goes along with it. He's just going to go ahead and be Brooks Koepka and move on. And the media is wanting more. And he is becoming somewhat bolder with his comments, which is a little intriguing and I think interesting for a lot of people. But Brooks Koepka is a guy that he's very reserved, kind of a private person, and he just goes about his business. He's just not willing to go ahead and give in.
So he's got a 7-shot lead, and I've talked to a lot of players, yourself included. It's hard sometimes to play with a big lead. What would your game plan be today if you're Brooks Koepka?
The way that he's driving the ball, there's no reason that he should deviate. The last thing that Brooks Koepka wants to do is kind of take his foot off the gas. He can absolutely, and I know 7 shots is over 36 holes. That's it's not done. I got that, but a good round today he can win this golf tournament today, where he really, all he has to do is walk around the golf course tomorrow. If he plays like he did on Thursday, this thing is so far over. It'll be a joke. I mean, that's how well he's playing.
You know, Jordan Spieth finds himself tied for second place, and last week when we were at the AT&T Byron Nelson, you know, his whole thing was building momentum toward the PGA Championship, and we saw him hit drivers when he didn't necessarily need to hit drivers last week, maybe trying to fine-tune his driving, which has been very erratic this year. He seems to have found something. He's playing pretty well.
He's playing well. He survived a misstep the first day on the 10th hole. He made a double bogey and kind of hung in there and shot under par, and then he played quite well yesterday. And I think if you're looking to see exactly where your game is and you want to measure it up and see where you are with the best players in the world, Jordan Spieth is going to get that chance today. Going out there with Koepka and just kind of, okay, can I stay with this guy? I'm pretty confident right now. Can I stay with him?
Who do you think has the best chance to make a weekend run at Koepka?
I still am going to keep my eye on Tommy Fleetwood. I think he's the guy that can make the most noise. I like the way that he drives the golf ball. He's going to position himself off the tee nicely. Sometimes the putter will get hot and he's fine, but it's going to be very important over the weekend that players put the ball in the fairway and operate from there. Koepka, he's hitting a lot of fairways. He is one of a handful of players that can actually hit it into the rough and actually make something happen. But Tommy Fleetwood, Jordan Spieth, all the pursuers, they need to hit the ball in the fairway. If they don't go out there and probably hit 10 fairways, they're going to be in trouble. They need to hit that many so they have good looks at the hole locations, position themselves on the greens, and get some good looks. And they're going to need a lot of good looks because Brooks Koepka is going to have ample opportunity for birdie out there.
Were you surprised at Tiger missing the cut?
You know, I was with him yesterday, Brian. He only hit 3 fairways. He struggled. The answer is yes, I am surprised. Is it because he didn't play from the Masters to the U.S. Open? I don't know. I'm not going to second guess a guy that has 15 major championships, but you know, it looks like maybe there was a little rust that usually when Tiger gets in trouble, he can make an adjustment and then get back on track, and he was not able to do that.
Do you think things could be different for him at Pebble Beach with the success he's had there?
I do. It's certainly going to be a different golf course. It's going to be a firmer golf course. But I think and he won here at Bethpage Black, but he is so familiar with Pebble Beach and Polana greens. If I look at players putting Polana greens, I'm going to put Tiger Woods and Mark O'Meara and Phil Mickelson as my top 3 putting Polana greens, and that's what they're going to have at Pebble Beach.
All right, I'm going to say that you're going to pick Koepka to win this week. What's the winning score going to be?
Well, I'm going to say the way that he's playing, I'm going to go ahead. Well, it all depends on the wind. I'm going to say 14 under. And at the beginning of the week, I would have said 5, and I'd have sat right in the clubhouse and not moved. I'd have been on Jordan Spieth's score where he stands after 36. I'd have taken that all day long at the beginning of the week. I am totally shocked at the scoring that Brooks Koepka has been able to do.
It has been fun to watch. Billy, I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Have a great broadcast today and have a nice glass of red for me tonight.
Yeah, I will, Brian, and appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, Bill Kratzer. You'll be able to see him later today on TNT as they cover the PGA Championship from Bethpage Black. One of the real good guys, an Indiana guy in the Indiana Golf Hall of Fame, and one of the best broadcasters you'll find in golf. We'll come back. We've heard everybody talk about how important it is to hit fairways this week at Bethpage Black. We're going to help you do that when we come back on The Golf Show. You're listening to The Golf Show on the new WHPU and Muncie Sports Radio. Hi, I'm Brian Hammons. If you're tired of driving a half hour or longer to buy your golf equipment or apparel, don't. You don't have to be a member to shop at the Anderson Country Club's golf shop. They carry great clothing lines like Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, and Puma, and top-of-the-line clubs from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Titleist. And if you think you're saving money by driving to the big box stores, you're not. So save the gas and stock up on all your golf needs at the Anderson Country Club at 602 North Shore Boulevard in Anderson.
It's time to get ready at the new PGA Tour Superstore. Get ready for custom-fit clubs. Get ready for expert advice and lessons from our certified teaching pros. Get ready for the largest selection of clubs, apparel, shoes, and more. Get ready, because the PGA Tour Superstore in Indianapolis is now open. Located at Clearwater Crossing.
Dutch Boy's new Platinum Plus paint with stain shield technology has the performance you expect from a luxury paint at a price you didn't. Platinum Plus is up to 50% more washable and stain resistant than a leading premium paint and satin sheen. Superiority ranges from 24 to 50% depending on sheen selected. Platinum Plus keeps your walls looking new longer. Menards and Dutch Boy paint have you covered. Go ahead, live your life. Now at Menards, get 11% off Dutch Boy paint. Savings or a mail-in rebate? See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
If you want to take your golf game to the next level, or if you're just taking up the sport, see Tom Harris at the Delaware Country Club in Muncie. The former Indiana PGA Professional of the Year guarantees that you'll improve, either with one-on-one lessons or through his popular women's clinics or the junior golf program. And if you need clubs, Tom can custom fit you from driver to putter using all the latest technology like TrackMan 4. For more information, go to TomHarrisGolf.com or stop by the Delaware Country Club at 510 South Country Club Road in Muncie.
Geico is a proud partner for all of the sleeper team, but every other team they're waking out of nowhere coming. Are you kidding? My eyes aren't believing the little school that could, and look, they're doing. Everyone, including their mom, surprising Cinderella. Yeah, and both of these giant shoes fit storytelling bracket busters. In other words, Geico is a proud partner for all of the madness that is March Madness. And little reminder, they make it easy to switch and save.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Coho and O'Neill Golf Management is Central Indiana's premier golf management company, providing management and consulting services to some of the top golf courses in the Hoosier State. Courses like Prairie View Golf Club in Carmel, Woodwind Golf Club in Westfield, Crestwood Country Club in Avon, Mystic Hills Golf Club in Culver, and here locally, Elwood Golf Links in Elwood. If your favorite golf course is searching for a new direction in leadership and management, go with the best. Visit cohoandoneal.com.
It's a Pete Dye masterpiece, the Pete Dye course at French Lick Resort. Pete says its location on one of the highest points in Indiana makes it special.
The long views, you can see many 20 and 30 miles from many of the fairways and many of the tees and greens, and you can see it in 360 degrees.
Donald Ross's Hill Course put French Lick on the golf map more than 100 years ago. It's where Walter Hagen won the 1924 PGA Championship, and the place where today's Symetra Tour ladies battle each year.
It's the ambience around it that makes the golf course.
Combine our many resort amenities with legendary golf, and you have a getaway like no other. French Lick Resort is the home of the Senior LPGA Championship, won in 2018 by World Golf Hall of Famer Laura Davies. Play the courses champions play. Plan your trip now, online at FrenchLick.com.
Gonna go out and play some golf, yeah, gonna go out and play some golf. My golf bag's full of the latest stuff. I'm gonna go out and play some golf. My putter alone was $1,000. I'm gonna go out and suck at golf.
And I hope you're going to go out and play some golf today and enjoying this beautiful weather here in central Indiana. Joining us now is Michael Janes, a club fitter and instructor for the PGA Tour Superstore. And Michael, during the whole show and actually all week long, he's been watching the PGA Championship. We've been hearing how important it is to hit fairways at Bethpage Black. So you're going to help us do that today, okay?
All right, perfect.
Now, everybody wants to hit it long, but obviously there are times you've got to hit it straight. What are the keys to being an accurate driver of the golf ball?
You know, one of the biggest keys that we could take from the guys on the PGA Tour, you know, we look at those guys, their setup is so very important, their visualization. So, you know, if you always look at them, they really focus on setup. When I teach at the PGA Tour Superstore, one of the biggest things that I see when guys come to me and say, "Hey, I'm struggling with the driver. I just can't seem to find fairways with it." It's typically their setup. You know, it's focusing on making sure we get you know, the correct grip on the club, getting a good position with the driver, because it is the longest club in the bag. So, you know, it takes such a different setup position for that.
Is there one ball flight that is more accurate than another? If you want to be an accurate player, is it better to play a fade or a draw?
Typically, a cut is better than a draw. You know, a lot of times what happens when we hit a draw, you know, it's hard to control that right to left ball flight. You know, sometimes we can get, you know, a 5-yard draw. Sometimes if there's not enough spin on the golf ball, we can get a 15 or 20 yard. Whereas a cut, you know, is kind of preferable. It's a little easier to play, a little easier to control. The spin rates on a cut are pretty consistent.
What's that old saying? You can talk to a cut, you can't talk to a draw.
Yes, very, very much so.
So, are there any drills or swing thoughts? If we're going out to play today and we haven't had a lesson, what kind of drills can we do on the practice tee, or what swing thoughts can we have to maybe improve our accuracy?
You know, the best swing thought that we can use with a driver, you know, you said it best. We all want to hit further, right? And when we start thinking about hitting further, we start thinking about swinging harder. We really should probably be thinking about the opposite with a driver. You know, when we start thinking about finding fairways and getting off the tee, you know, we should really focus on like 70% of what maybe our full swing is, and you'll find that you'll square the club face up a lot better, and you'll hit a lot more fairways.
What's the biggest fault you see with players that come in to the PGA Tour Superstore with their swing that has them missing fairways?
The biggest thing that I see, you know, a lot of us, we tend to line up, you know, because like I was saying, you know, drivers are so long now. You know, typically a player will open his stance and open his shoulders up to feel like he can get a better turn. And then what ends up happening is they actually don't rotate enough and then come over the top, and that's when they can get in some big trouble.
You know, we just had John Mahaffey on a little while ago, and whenever I would play with John on the road, you know, he would always talk about, he always had a go-to shot on the tee. When there was a fairway he had to hit, 72nd hole of the 78 PGA Championship, where he won the Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass, and he knew he had to hit that fairway. He had a go-to shot. Is that something that you tell your students?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when we do teaching, and even when we're doing fitting and talking about driver, you know, a lot of times I'll refer to, you know, I'll go back and refer to tour players. You know, and it's funny whenever you talk to tour players about their equipment or, you know, what they're looking for, or they always talk about their go-to swing or their go-to shot out on the golf course. You know, whether it's, you know, Dustin Johnson, and he's kind of he knows that he hits it, you know, towards the heel, and he's a high ball flight guy. You know, whereas, you know, Tiger is more of if he, you know, knows that he has to hit fairways and get it in play, you'll see him kind of control trajectory and hit a little bit lower and hit a cut. And so finding, you know, kind of that home space of you know, what you're comfortable with, what's your comfort shot when you need to hit a fairway, it's super important.
We're talking with Michael Janes, club fitter and instructor for the PGA Tour Superstore in Indianapolis. And so I guess probably one of the more important things if you want to hit fairways is to get properly fitted for a driver, correct?
Yeah. You know, I always say, you know, instruction can help you a lot. But if you're not playing with the correct equipment, the instruction really isn't going to help you that much. Getting fit for your equipment is so important.
So if people want to come to the PGA Tour Superstore and get fitted by you or take a lesson from you, how do they do that?
They can call the store directly and ask for myself or ask to get on my schedule. Or if you go to the PGATourSuperstore.com, you can actually search for our location, and then you can book either a tour van experience on there with myself or a 45-minute lesson.
All right, one last thing before I let you go. What are your thoughts so far on the PGA Championship?
So far, so great. I mean, Bethpage never disappoints, right? Definitely some drama yesterday unfolded. What Brooks Koepka can do is it's like every single major, it's like, there he is again. It's pretty unbelievable performance on his part. So it'll be interesting to see this weekend how the rest of the field, can catch up, or if Brooks can keep his foot on the pedal and pull away.
Do you get people coming in the store going, "Hey, I want to hit it like Brooks Koepka"?
Few and far between. Most of the time, they just want to find distance wherever. If it's in the irons or the driver, they just want to find distance. I mean, it's hard to sit at home and watch these guys, hit balls where they're carrying it, 320, 330, 340 yards and go, well, I mean, I only carry my driver 225 yards. Surely there's some more distance for me out there. So, we don't get the very many Brooks Koepka questions. Can I hit it like Brooks or can I hit it like DJ? But every now and then we do.
Well, Michael, I appreciate you spending some time with us and giving us some tips on how to hit the golf ball straighter with our driver. Enjoy the rest of the weekend and enjoy the PGA Championship.
All right, you too, sir. Talk to you soon.
That's Michael James from the PGA Tour Superstore. A couple of things I want to tell you about before we end the show, one of which is the tournament that I've been hosting now for 8 years, and it's coming up June 14th at the Anderson Country Club, the St. Vincent Classic for Kids. It's a great cause, and I am honored to be the tournament host. That tournament was started by the great Carl Erskine 35 years ago or so. Sandy Patty then took it over as the host, and then I think it's been 8 years now that I've been the host of the tournament, and it's a great time. We'd love for you to be involved. We have a really good celebrity field again this year from the athletic world, from television and radio. A really good celebrity field. I think you'd really have a good time. And if you sign up, you get tickets to the party the night before at the Anderson Country Club. And Corey Cox, a great country singer grew up in Pendleton, Indiana, will be performing. So it's a real good time. If you're interested, go to stvincentclassic2019.eventbrite.com, and that's Bright, B-R-I-T-E. St. Vincent Classic 2019.eventbrite.com. You can register there, and we hope to see you June 14th at the Anderson Country Club. It's really a good time, and for a great cause. All money goes to the St. Vincent Children's Charities here in Anderson and Madison County. Also on June 27th, another great cause. I'm on the board, along with a few other very prominent people in golf in the Anderson and Madison County and Delaware County area. Brian Garrett, the general manager and the director of golf at the Anderson Country Club. Tom Harris, the head golf professional at the Delaware Country Club. They're both on the board as well. We're having a fundraiser for the First Tee program of East Central Indiana. In the First Tee, I got to know that program up close and personal during my days at the Golf Channel doing the First Tee Open out at Pebble Beach. And that program is turning out some great kids. And it's not just about golf. It's about their 9 core values and their 9 healthy habits. I mean, they teach kids about life through golf. And it's a great program. We're introducing it now to East Central Indiana, Madison County, and Delaware County. We have Snag golf equipment. You may have seen them, the oversized plastic clubs and little miniature tennis balls to introduce golf to kids in the phys ed classes in East Central Indiana. So get involved with that if you can as well. You can call Brian Garrett, 765-635-2603. That outing comes up on June 27th at the Anderson Country Club. I'd like to thank our guests, John Mahaffey, Bill Kratzert, and Michael Janes of the PGA Tour Superstore, and thank you for listening. For Nick Isbell, I'm Brian Hammons. We'll be back again next week with another edition of The Golf Show.